Japan has one of the most unique cultures in the world and one of the top countries people want to visit. So what makes Japan so unique? And what is the history of Japan? How old is Japan? And where did the Japanese come from originally? Hello, my name is Kasumi. I am a Japanese virtual singer-songwriter and producer, and I am starting a YouTube series called Tale of Japan, where I will present all the history, myth, and unique culture of Japan through this series. You see, I was born in Japan. However, in my early teenage years, I left Japan to pursue my dream of becoming a musician in America. I have never been back to Japan since then. I have never spent any time as an adult in Japan. So these videos are also my journey to find out about my own country. I am planning to go back to Japan sometime next year or so. So together with you, I am eager to dive deep into discovering all of the histories of Japan. So join the journey and let's discover about Japan together. Where did Japanese people come from? Where are they now? Where do they go? Through this series, we will uncover all the history of Japan. Today, we are looking at how old is Japan and where did Japanese people come from. First, we need to go back 23 million years. Japan was originally part of the coastal region of the Eurasian continent. Around 23 million years ago, the movement of the earth started to pull parts of Japan, opening the Sea of Japan. About 11 million years ago, the parts of Japan that became modern Tohoku and Hokkaido region were gradually uplifted from the seafloor. The Korean Strait opened much later, about 2 million years ago. And about 20,000 years ago, Hokkaido started to separate from the part of Russia, Sakhalin Island, and basic form of Japan was completed. As you can see, completely isolated by the ocean. The fact that Japan is geographically isolated by the ocean becomes the key to understanding Japan's unique culture. So when did the first people land in Japan? The recent advanced DNA technology revealed the interesting facts about the origin of the Japanese. Let's take a look back from the very beginning. The Earth was made 4.5 billion years ago. The earliest known life forms on Earth, which are microscopic organisms, were made about 3.7 billion years ago. And it took another 3 billion years for the microscopic organism to evolve and become the first known human-like species called Sahelanthropes, also known as Tumai. This was about 7 million years ago. This is when we started to diverge from chimpanzees and eventually evolved to become Homo sapiens. Tumai was discovered in Central Africa, now known as a country of the Republic of Chad. It took another 6 million years to see the first modern humans known as the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens evolved in Africa between 200,000 and 300,000 years ago. The oldest known Homo sapiens fossils were discovered in Morocco and are dated to around 315,000 years ago. This discovery is 100,000 years older than previously discovered fossils and suggests that Homo sapiens evolved in multiple locations across Africa. And between 60,000 and 70,000 years ago, humans started to migrate out of Africa. This is most likely because of the climate change and food scarcity. Recent studies also suggest that the development of our brain has reached a point where our curiosity and adventure spirit have taken over the human spirit. Maybe they were all looking for a frontier, just like Luffy wanted to be the greatest pirate in the great ocean.
I'm gonna be the king of the pirates!
people who left Africa have reached the shore of Australia by 50,000 years ago, which by the way shows that the humans already have developed a way to make some sort of ship to sail across the ocean to reach Australia. Around the same time, a second group crossed the Red Sea, and by 35,000 years ago, they have populated the Middle East and Central Asia. And there was a group of people who lived around the country of Thailand now. Using the skill of boating or sailing of some kind, instead of heading to Australia, they went up the ocean and reached the shore of Taiwan and eventually reaching the shore of Japan. This was some 40,000 years ago. These were the first people to live in the land of Japan, first Japanese. So you could say that the history of Japan with Homo sapiens started 40,000 years ago. These people will eventually form a unique culture in Japan. Because Japan was isolated by the ocean all around, they were able to develop unique and original cultures. These people are called the Jomon people and will eventually develop a unique era called the Jomon era, which lasted for 10,000 years. And what is amazing is that during these 10,000 years of the Jomon era, archaeologists have found no evidence of war or battles during the period, which lasted from approximately 14,000 to 300 before the Common Era. This includes no evidence of walled settlements, defenses, ditches, moats, large numbers of weapons, human sacrifice, unceremoniously dumped bodies. Skeletal evidence suggests that the violence, including warfare, was uncommon during the Jomon period. Jomon period was a time of peace that lasted for more than 10,000 years. During this time, Japan was inhabited by a diverse population of hunter-gatherers and early agriculturists who were united by a common Jomon culture. Famously, the Jomon people also created pottery. These are the oldest pottery in the world. Jomon derives its name from the distinctive code-marked patterns found on their pottery, known as Jomon in Japanese. These intricate designs created by impressing cords or ropes onto the surface of the clay vessels not only served as decorative elements but also held significant cultural and spiritual value. And more evidence is showing up left and right these days to suggest that the Jomon people were highly spiritual people with incredible artistic skills, including music. The Jomon era came to an end when another set of people started to migrate to Japan from the Korean peninsula. This was around 300 before Common Era. These are the people called Yayoi people. They brought with them two major things: rice harvesting and Japanese language. However, there is evidence that the Jomon people refused to accept rice farming for a long time because they believed that in order to harvest rice, you need to own a vast amount of land. They did not believe in the concept of ownership of the land. They knew that this would lead to a conflict of who owns which land and eventually lead to a conflict between people. It would lead to a war. They believe that their lands belongs to Mother Nature. Nobody can own the land, but we coexist with every life form in the nature. Resistance to accept rice farming culture lasted for a long time. In fact, some of the Jomon people secluded themselves in the Hokkaido island and kept their culture for a long time into the next era of Yayoi era and into another era called the Kofun era for 1,000 years, from 300 BC to 700 AD. These people in Hokkaido kept the Jomon culture alive, and this era is historically called the Epi-Jomon era. Eventually, the Jomon people were mixed with the Yayoi people and another set of migrants called the Kofun people. So modern Japanese DNA, a mix of three major people that came from elsewhere: Jomon, Yayoi, and Kofun people. Recently in Japan, there has been a small movement amongst young people to rediscover the spirit and belief of Jomon people. A new renaissance, if you will. After experiencing the highs and lows that capitalism brought to society, young people in Japan are feeling the need to fundamentally shift the focus of life and root back to Japan's original spirit of Jomon people. Taro Okamoto, who famously said, "Art is explosion," is one of the most popular and well-known artists in Japan. Okamoto saw the Jomon people as pioneers of Japanese arts and culture. He believed that by reconnecting with the primal roots of Japanese Jomon culture, modern Japan could find a renewed sense of identity and purpose. He recalled his first time encountering the parody works of the Jomon era, saying, "I was astounded. I had no idea this kind of Japan existed. No, this was the real Japan. I felt my blood grow hotter. My enthusiasm caught fire." Recently, more DNA tests have revealed that there are more kinds of Jomon people in Japan, meaning that the group that have come from the south was not the only group. There was a group that came from the north, from the mainland Russia. The new technology is starting to reveal more of a mixed multiracial Japan in the early years of Japan, but that is for the next time. In any case, I am excited to start this series of discovering the history of Japan. Together with you all, we will uncover the roots and origin of unique Japanese culture, learn and apply the wisdom to our lives, energize our inspiration. Make sure to subscribe to this channel as the series will go on for a long time to come, discovering the incredible cultural phenomenon that will inspire our lives. Alright dreamers, I'll be back soon. I hope you have a great day and take a step closer to your dreams.